We are T-minus 2 hours away of breaking down one of the biggest semifinal matchups in DFL history. The biggest we've ever seen. We have the undefeated Baltimore Ravens versus the red-hot Cincinnati Bengals. And a trip to the DFL Bowl is on the line, and a date will be set next week to face off against the Deacon Demons, who have already punched their ticket. Let's start with the Ravens, shall we? Here's your Baltimore Ravens preview. The Ravens team has been a machine from day one, and that starts with their captain, their quarterback, pound for pound, the best player in the league, MVP candidate, unbelievable year in, year out, Eli Siegel. Not much we could say about Eli Siegel that you already don't know, but he is just a juggernaut in his own right, because he's not just a captain, he's not just a quarterback, he is a coordinator, and that makes a very big difference. He sees the field very differently than a lot of other players or captains do in the league, and I can attest to that. He's cerebral. Now, let's move on. We'll start with Danny M, a.k.a. Black. Danny Mastery. Back in the year after missing last season, I know he was chomping at the bit, wanted back in right away, immediately stepped in as a true wide receiver one. There's really not much more you could say. Big catch radius, big play, big moments, big difference maker anytime the ball is near him. So, and oh, by the way, FYI on defense, pretty stout as well. Now, speaking about a good two-way player, I would be remiss not to talk about right now Morty Sultan, perennial sleeper in the draft back-to-back years, but not this year. Oh, at least this upcoming year. His draft stock has skyrocketed. He's an MVP candidate. He is a fiend on the line. He is lethal in the slot and open field, making people's ankles break. You could ask some players that are actually in the Super Bowl already. We've had it on the highlights. And really, he's just a weapon. He's just a weapon. That's the right way of putting it. Now, Menachem Dubin, mid-season pickup. They traded IG for him. That's how badly they wanted him, because IG was having a ridiculous year and still ended up with a great year. And I'll tell you one thing that Dubin did, because offensively, to me, they're very similar, but he stabilized their defense. Because I know Dubin and Siegel do have rapport in prior years, and it was evident from day one. He's on the same program with him defensively, and that makes a very, very big difference. Now, Michael Escava. Now, listen, people ask, is Escava great because of Eli Siegel, or is Eli Siegel great because of Escava? I'm joking. The answer is yes, for whatever reason, they work well together. He finds him as a safety valve. Escava's got great hands, and oh, by the way, him next to Sultan on the line puts together probably one of the most dangerous combinations on the defensive line that we've ever seen. Like, the pressure is not normal, and the amount of sacks that are compiled is wild. So, either way, Scav has been a great addition and a great player on this Ravens. Now let's move on to Shragi Spinrad, one of those unheralded Ravens that not many people really give enough credit to. He is their backup quarterback. He actually could spin the ball, Spinrad. However, more importantly, he helps stabilize them on defense. He's smart, he's reliable, he's always in the right spot. And speaking about always being in the right spot, how about our former commissioner? Let's give him his flowers right now. Victor Cohen, one of the best offensive linemen in the league, bar none. You don't hear a word out of him, never chirps, just does his job. And he does his job extremely well. Protects his quarterback. I know that after the season, Eli Siegel got, I think, Victor dinner for two at Salt for him and his wife for just saying thank you. And you know what? Warranted. It's a good idea. Eli, all quarterbacks should do that. And then, finally, we have Noam Katzel. Noam Katzel! Scrappy, feisty, energy. He is that guy. You know, every team needs that guy. Noam is that guy. He's where you want to be when you want him to be. Always comes up with something when you need it and you're like not expecting it. This Ravens team, complete, balanced, well coached, and they're undefeated for a reason. However, we are moving on to the Bengals and preview them right now. Early in the season, they were a hot mess. They were struggling in every category. They lost their, I don't want to say they lost Shook in the beginning, but I don't think his head was in it. And then Shimi was like not clicking yet. Either way, fast forward the beginning portion of the year, and we are in a spot right now where this Bengal team has earned themselves the right to say the team that nobody wants to face. The last 3 weeks, for example, this team is peaking at the perfect time. And it starts with the quarterback, Shimi Cohen, last year's Super Bowl MVP. Again, he's starting really to spread the ball around. And not only does he do that, I know good and well that Shimi Cohen and Eli Siegel remember last year where Shimi Cohen won the championship against Siegel's Cowboys. I know he was down JoJo Matute, but a win is a win is a win. And Shimi Cohen, if he could figure out a way to win today, there's some Eli Manning, Tom Brady gas going on over there, finding a way to ruin the parade of Eli Siegel, but long way to go. Long way to go. And I know that Shimi likes that Eli because he is a big Giant fan. Anyway, Moshe Shook, newlywed, number one non-quarterback drafted guy for a reason. We saw it last week. He is an absolute unit. Offensively, defensively, wreaks havoc everywhere. Dominant. He's a dominant player. Now let's go to their captain. We didn't even mention their captain yet. Momo Levy. Quiet leader. High character. Doesn't make a noise, but he's undisputed wide receiver 1. He's CB1 abilities, and he's a glue guy, tone setter. Just a really good leading by example type captain. Now, here's a guy that, I sound like Collinsworth. Here's a guy that they traded for. Just like the Ravens traded for Dubin, this is a huge trade that Cincinnati traded for mid-season. That's Noah Hakeem, the knower of all. Early season quarterback, fizzled out. Was it the team that he was on? Maybe. But either way, it looks like he found himself a home on Cincinnati as that slot receiver and jack of all trades. When I say jack of all trades, you don't think of dominant. He's a dominant on-ball defender. He is just speed, high IQ, high motor, just big part of their team and their success. So every team has one, and he does it really, really well, that job. Speaking about a midseason pickup, this wasn't midseason, it was early in the season, but Moses Smock, when Adam Azar, their high-prized draft pick, went down to hamstring chronic issues, and they picked up Moses was trying to find his way, but big hands, height, speed, real baller. Smecky really unlocked a part of that offense, big part of it. It's funny, Smecky was not there last week. He had some sort of procedure. However, they were clicking without him, so that shows you what kind of heater that Shimi's on. Next up is Jackie Cohen. Had moments this year where he was great. And for example, this past week in the playoffs, we saw what he did on the line. That interception to Meyer, like by throwing his hand back and by showing the pressure that he can show. I think he's heating up at the right time. Speaking about heating up, even though we like cold pizza, but Alphonse, the Fonz, mystery, the heart, the soul, the emotional leader, the voice, the anchor, locker room fire, emotional heartbeat, every team needs one. And oh, by the way, does a really good job, stout lineman. So Fonz, I know he really wants this ring. There are rumors that this might be Fonz's last year playing in deal, so let's see if they could pull something together. But who knows? Things change every offseason. And then there's Eddie Estes, who not exactly part of their offense, and I'm going to say it as it is. He's more of a clipboard specialist type guy. Shout out to Eddie. Everyone knows that he does have ability, just he has to find his stride and find his footing. Now, just look at the outlook of this matchup. The Ravens are definitely the favorites. They're undefeated, they're balanced, they're disciplined. But the Bengals, they're the team that nobody wants to play, like I said before. It's just the hottest team in the league. loaded with a veteran playmaker at quarterback and at receiver, and just it's a really dangerous matchup. That's how I'll put it for Baltimore. I mean, I honestly think they'd rather face anyone else in the league. I really do. It's not the team they want to face off. Shook versus Siegel. There's so many storylines. Shimi versus Siegel, and it's crazy. If the Ravens win, it's expected. If the Bengals win, it's a movie. So, pressure is squarely on the Ravens to deliver. Ravens-Bengals, undefeated versus unstoppable, perfection versus momentum, one game to reach the DFL Bowl, and a date with the Demons. Strap in, ladies and gentlemen. This one's going to be special. See you on the field soon. By the way, the live link will be up on the Sam I Am Pro YouTube channel, so tune in if you can't make it.